Welcome in Deseret News Rewind. Dusty Litster, as always, joined by Dane, Stewart, and we are presented by the Utah Army National Guard.
That's right. And Dusty, a lot of people are trying to figure out where they can develop job skills. Always tough to develop job skills when you don't have the right opportunity. Well, the right opportunity is the Utah Army National Guard. Over 150 different career pathways available through the Utah Army National Guard. Not just military service, things from mechanics, medical, all sorts of different opportunities. Check out www.nationalguard.com to learn more.
Absolutely. I want to thank the Utah Army National Guard for their support, and it is much appreciated. And if you're interested in supporting us as well, hit us up on Twitter at Dane News Rewind, at Dusty Lister, at Dane_Stewart. All right, let's get into this. A very interesting week. We don't have that 6-8 game of the week where our schedule kind of worked, but I tell you, week 2 is full of lots of get more clarity. Yeah. We'll talk about that in the theme portion of the show. But Dane, let's kind of jump into this. Your best is 6A.
Well, Dusty, I'll tell you the team that's really jumping off to me in the early going. There's a lot of them, but how about American Fork? I mean, right now the Cavemen, they're just a big, hairy American winning machine. That's what they are. And when you look at them, I mean, you've got Maddox, who today against Timpview, I saw this Timpview defense last week, folks. This defense is no joke. Had 52 points on them. I mean, Maddox, I think, threw for 4 touchdowns. They were lighting up Timpview. And AF, hats off to you. But I'll tell you what, we knew Corner Canyon was going to be good. We knew Lone Peak was going to be good. Thought Skyridge was going to be good. To me, I think the question was AF, and we've learned really early on they are really, really good. They've replaced all that talent they graduated last year. Watch out for the Cavemen.
And a great thing about all this, the teams we're going to talk about, is that they're going to match up against each other. We're going to get a chance to see it because my best is 6A. Last year you went a little bit of a grouping. I'm going to go grouping. How about the reigning 6A and 5A champions? You already mentioned them at Corner Canyon and Lone Peak. And main reason because, one, for Corner Canyon, high expectations. That offense was high flying and moving all over the place. Last week there's a little bit of a grumbling because, threw for less than 100 yards. Cole Hagan threw less than 100 yards. He didn't do that at all last year.
Yeah.
Then in week 2, they are going to go against Harriman. We know Harriman has a really good defense, and they scored 24 offensive points. They got 7 points from Josh Wilson. Got a pick 6 that got the party started there in the second quarter, but then things started getting going. But the mainstay, which I didn't see coming, I thought it would be a little bit of the flavoring here and there.
Yeah.
Austin Bell. Kid has been spectacular in the first 2 weeks. 5 rushing touchdowns in the first 2 weeks against 2 very good defenses. You know how good that Orem defense is? They got lit up in the first half by Bishop Gorman. They had, as of right now, had a lot of second half point against Bishop Gorman down in Las Vegas. So what you've seen out of Corner Canyon, really, really impressive to me. And then Lone Peak. J.D. Nealman, how about this? You got to have good quarterback play. Offense hasn't been lights out, but he's been really good. Broke the team's single game single game passing record, 425 yards in week 1. What does he do in week 2 against Jordan? Throws 4 touchdown passes. Been absolutely lights out. This week was lights out. But I'm very, very impressed. And these defenses in week 2 combined for 0 surrender points.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Moving on. Give your thoughts.
Well, I was going to say, so, you talk about Corner Canyon, and we talk about Hagan a lot, Kerr over the middle, but, the interesting thing to me, some of the Corner Canyon people I know were talking, they said, Austin Bell's going to break it out this year. Just a junior. And had 150 yards rushing against Orem last week, had some impressive runs this week against Harriman. That offense is pretty doggone complete for Corner Canyon. It's going to be tough.
Absolutely, and I need to correct myself. 13 combined points surrendered by those two defenses. Jordan got 2 late scores against Lone Peak, but very, very good.
Yeah.
Those 2 are very good. All right, your best of 5A.
Well, we talk about a team, and in our preview of the year, we talk about maybe this is a team that we've seen in the semifinals, we've seen win state championships, but they haven't made a deep playoff run in the last couple of years. The Highland Rams, folks. Now, look, they got another, Dixie team, right? Pineview, dealing with Pineview this week. How about jumping out 42 points in the first half, including a pick 6 from Paul Clark? I know that young man. He's got hands that are big. Tell you what, Highland, the running attack, getting the job done. They are lighting up these defenses. And the defense doing its job against some teams that are accustomed to scoring a lot of points. But when you look at this Highland team, that rushing attack finding a lot of success, a lot of different guys scoring. Boren had a touchdown run in the win. We talked about Dombre. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but anyway.
On which team?
Dumbia for Highland.
Okay.
They've got a lot of kids that are able to break through a defense, a lot of speed, athleticism. That wing T offense, always difficult to deal with. And Coach Benson, the system's been in there a long time, now off to a real strong 2-0 start. Now, it's going to be really interesting because you talk about defenses in 6A. You want to know a defense that hasn't given up a point yet? Olympus.
Yes.
They still have not been scored upon. It's going to be a fun region matchup when it comes. Really good offense, really good defense. But right now, Highland flying high on the offensive side.
And until I got to see both those games. And what's great about that offense and the frustrating thing if you're on that team, not every week is going to be the same guy unless you're the A-back.
Yeah.
If you're B-back, C-back, you might not see the ball if you need that. Yeah, because Olival was huge week 1. Week 2, didn't need it.
Yeah.
And it was an A-back that was just completely gashing that Pine View defense. By the way, I'm going to make sure we always kind of pub different guys.
Yeah.
But how about Croton? That kid throws a ball. That first half was very, very good, but had that pick 6. But the kid is very, very good.
Throws for 5 touchdowns in a loss. And we talked about last week, had like 480 yards passing in a loss.
7
it's
touchdowns.
Just like,
Yeah. I mean, he's been spectacular.
Yeah.
All right, my best of the rest. How about, best of 5A. Best of 5A. How about the Farmington Phoenix? Hey, rising out of the dust.
Yeah.
Going out and getting Coach Dan Coates, a former Cougar, former Bengal, getting things going, former Mr. Football as well from Northridge. But 2-0 to start year 2. This ain't year 1, folks. And got the win over Syracuse. Wyatt Everetson has been solid throwing the ball. And the defense, they've surrendered 21 points in 2 games. Wow. That defense is playing really, really well. But right now, wins over Timpanogos, win over Skyridge. That always is good. He gets Skyridge. It's a border team there for them as well. And so, great start for Coach Dan Coates and the Farmington Phoenix.
It's a good one.
Yeah. All right, your best of the rest.
Well, how about a really fun matchup and a team that, years ago, an offense that I still have memories of, and a team that made it all the way, deep in the state playoffs last year. Stansbury and Logan up at Crimson Field. And the Grizzlies trying to make a late charge in this one, going down the field. This was all Stansbury till the 4th quarter, and then Logan comes alive. They only had 21 points in the first 3. They scored 21 points in the 4th. They're marching down, trailing by 5, and a late interception. The Stansbury Stallions hold off the Logan Grizzlies 47-42. Stansbury, nice bounce back from them this week.
You want to talk about holding off a charge? Last week, we talked about it on the show. Cedar City came back late to get an overtime win against Spanish Fork. This week, down 7, marching down the field. But let's put this together. First of all, playing as Juab. Cade Bowering scored the last 2 touchdowns for Juab, including the one to give him a little bit of space to go up 34-27. And then with just the final seconds of the game, the Reds knocking on the door inside the 5-yard line, throwing the end zone. Who else is there? Cade Bowering gets the interception in the end zone, preserving the win for Juab. And the Wasps are 2-0 with wins over Hurricane, and now this week Cedar City.
Wow.
Great start.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go to the theme portion of the show. And what is it? Week 2 impressions. We get a chance to see biggest growth. Always the theme in football. Biggest growth for teams is week 1 to week 2. Dane, your impressions, what do we want to talk about?
Well, how about a really nice bounce back? And it was a game that when we were looking at our schedule this week, we thought about going up and doing it. How about Box Elder? And, they had a really tough week 1, a game that they had opportunities late, and then they dropped that to Kearns. They got to bounce back in a rivalry game against a Bear River team that had just beat Juan Diego. And Box Elder, tell you what, got off to a really strong start. Bear River came back, but the Bees able to make some late plays, held off the Bears, and a nice 54-34 win. That Region 5, we talked about it. This is going to be a very, very competitive region, and Box Elder throwing their hat in the ring now.
Well, and that was impressive because it was a big lead early.
Yeah.
And so we get both of those streams here on Deseret. Well, on Deseret News Rewind Live. If you haven't watched it, come join us on Friday nights. We had every game you could think of going through that. Red Zone on Sundays, get it on Friday night. But how about, here's one for me, Alta.
Yeah.
Went down to Skyridge, got beaten up a little bit, 28-14. It felt a little different. We watched a lot of that game. But coming back this week, Cinco Lucero was tough lugging last week, had Lowell Holney Ross and that team all over him. This week, against Desert Hills, he threw the ball really, really well. But here's a name, DeAndre Randolph. He had 2 touchdowns, 30 and 35 yards in the first half. Both highlight reel DNR T5 catches, high point in the football, going after it. Really, really impressed with what Alta did in week 2, bouncing back from that loss in week 1, where really could have taken a lot of the the excitement, some of the luster of what you think from Alta, because Region 7 is wide open. That's what we're learning right now. Region 7 is wide open, and Alta puts her hat right back in the ring with a nice win against Desert Hills. They got that one 41-28.
Good one. How about Dixie with a nice bounce back, huh? When we talk about right disappointing finish in week 1, losing to Springville, they got to have Roy's coming down to town. This Roy team with returning quarterback, and Dixie just put it to him. Reggie Garf, big game graph. Right? Graph, yeah. I always do that. Sorry.
I do the same thing.
Yeah. That's a big game for Dixie and helped create some separation, get a real nice win down in St. George over the Roy Royals, 41-21. And good to see Coach Monkers and that team get back, right, to their winning ways. But that's a real solid bounce back off after a tough week 1.
Not going to feel too bad to lose 21-20 to Springville, come back and get that win against Roy. And Roy, they looked really good in week 1. Mm-hmm. And here's a team that's 2-0, could have easily been in one of the other part of the show. How about Salem Hills? Salem Hills 2-0, got a win week 1 against Mountain Crest. Week 2, Fremont. Fremont lost on that last second touchdown pass to from Brighton, and they followed up, and Salem Hills goes up 14-0, scores 20 points in the second half, win 34-20. And this is a team running the ball, throwing the ball really well. Mitch Stratford again had another night where he got a bunch of yards, but it was a 75-yard interception return to open this game up. Reed Johnson got that 70-yard pick and took it back for the touchdown. But Jarrett Elmer and crew on the offense for Salem Hills getting the job done, and Elmer threw 3 touchdowns in that win against Fremont. Good job on Salem Hills.
How about Fremont? I mean, this was a team that, I thought returning Stratford, they were going to be really strong in Region 1. And, boy, you come out, you lose on a last-second play to Brighton. I mean, that's got to be gut-wrenching. And then to lose to Salem Hills 0-2. And, the positive thing, if you're Fremont, is Region 1 pretty wide open itself, right? I mean, we saw Davis lose to Viewmont this week. You saw Northridge was losing late this week. Layton lost to Brighton. And so, when you look at that Region 1, there is no team that's really standing out from the rest of the pack right now. So that's got to be encouraging. But I guess Weber had a nice game tonight. Yeah. They lost to Bingham last week. They pitched a shutout tonight in their win. But that Region 1, I think, is going to be really, really competitive at the top and really the rest of the way.
Here's another one real quick before we get the quick hits.
Yeah.
How about Provo?
Yeah, they
Coach
were good.
McGeary and the Bulldogs get a nice win in week 1. You fall against Logan.
Yep.
Follow that up. You bring in Westlake, and this was the year Westlake wanted to prove, hey, but now we got a shot. We're nowhere in the state tournament, and this could be different. Well, you go to Provo and tell you what, the Provo Bulldogs. I mean, this is a very, very good team. 2 games, they've only surrendered 7 points.
Wow.
And this is a game they won 22-0. They could have had a lot more, but Luke Haslam, a very, very good quarterback, and Coach McGeary is going to put things together. But this one was Taylor Heiner, a 56-yard punt return for a touchdown. He had some field goals, some drop passes, and things changed a little bit. But here's a name to remember, Alex Miles Mills.
Yes.
Outside target.
Yeah.
We always going to mention this kid. Yep. Outstanding, and Coach McGeary, it hasn't been the Lone Peak type of thing he did at Lone Peak, but this is a program that was down in the doldrums of their regions, and every year that he starts picking up, and this is now it's starting to go. That new field, the new school, things are going really, really well.
How about San Juan, Dusty?
Yeah, the Broncos.
You talked about they had heartbreak last week, and last year dealt with some heartbreak games. They had to deal with Summit Academy, defending state champ. And San Juan pulls it out late. I mean, you got Summit Academy scoring a late touchdown, going for 2 to try to tie it, and they don't get in. The defense for the Broncos holds, and San Juan gets a nice 35-33 win over Summit Academy.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to the quick hits brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard.
Well, Dusty, we talked about a team that's up and coming in the West Panthers. Now, they had Cottonwood tonight. But this ballgame was over in the first quarter. And we've talked about a couple kids. Clarence Butler, they call him Bird. He had a number of touchdowns tonight. They've also got a young quarterback. Well, he's a senior. They've got a quarterback you got to watch out for, Abraham Williams. He went off tonight on the offensive side. They dropped 66 points on Cottonwood tonight. West. That offense starting to come together, Pepper, starting to come together.
Well, okay, so West, who's their opponent this next week? How about Park City goes 2-0, gets a 20-13 win over Juan Diego, and now 2-0 teams. Park City got a win over Wasatch, and now a win over Juan Diego. That's 2 solid wins for the Park City Miners. And you look at Bauer, Mark McCurdy, kid is really, really good. And Ryan Skidmore is quarterback. Not a bad battery right there. And then they're going to take on West. There is your measuring stick right now for Coach Junior Solovi. And it ain't going to be a fun measuring stick.
On the road.
Yeah, in Park City. They're tough at home.
Got to deal with that elevation. It's like an extra 300 feet.
Yeah, Gary Anderson can tell you all about the former Park City head coach.
How about the Copper Hills Grizzlies? It's August, and we're talking about Copper Hills, Dusty. You realize they're 2-0?
I did realize
When was the last time the Grizzlies started out a year 2-0?
2006.
Oh, you are close. 2008.
Oh, 2008.
2008. But you got Lazenby, the quarterback. You've got Daniel Gonzalez, the running back. Now, I know they haven't played Bingham, but good on you, Grizzlies. They're 2-0 out of the gate.
Yeah, I won't mention what happened in Game 3 that year. I was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, great start. Coach Erickson was head coach then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun. I mean, good on Copper Hills.
Right?
It feels good to talk about them. Hey, here's another one. How about Murray?
You took it.
Murray, 2-0, got a 35-12 win over Hurricane. And this is a team, Murray a couple years ago, Max Tupai, Cash. Yeah, now trying to get their own thing going. It's Owen Madsen that has been the guy on the outside. He and Jarrett Hendrickson. Hendrickson throwing for 4 touchdowns in the win tonight.
All right, well, let's introduce this. Do you know the last time Murray went 2-0 to start a season?
2016?
No. You're way off.
Okay.
You were still in high school, Dusty.
Really?
2000.
Wow.
2000, the last time the Spartans went 2-0 to start a year. We told you. I had someone stop me, said, Dane, you got to watch out for Murray. I was like, well, we'll see. Yeah, we've seen. Murray, folks, off to a good start.
All right. Couple more.
How about Pleasant Grove?
Yes.
This was a dogfight of a battle against Maple Mountain, Dusty, and PG in the second half scores 19 unanswered points. They go 45-21 over the Golden Eagles. And, I mean, you look at this team, Kel Mickelson had a touchdown, but this is Porter and Rex Connors. I mean, they take over the
Porter
ball
Connors
game.
is
They
fun.
are beasts.
Yeah.
And for Pleasant Grove, a real solid win, and to pull one out late over Maple Mountain.
Does it not feel like Mountain Crest right now with Coach Wooten?
Yeah,
It's what it looks like
does.
to me.
Yeah.
Thought that last year too. I won't take the one you want to get. I'll get this one. How about Monticello? The Buckaroos started out 2-0 on the year. Beat Money Valley last week, but got a 32-20 win over Whitehorse this week. And a lot of guys contributing to this one. How about a 59-yard run from Brevin Olson having a nice night, leading the way in the first half for Monticello.
You say there's one that I want to do?
I know there's one.
How about a record watch, folks? 5 more passing touchdowns for Bryson Barnes and the Milford Tigers. They cruise past Gunnison Valley. We're working on some things for you, just letting you know. But he is now 21 passing touchdowns away from breaking the career passing touchdown mark. 21, and we're just in week 2. Got to feel pretty good on that trajectory if you're a Milford Tiger fan.
He's absolutely going after it there. Well, folks, if we ever are missing guys that are flying under the radar from us, we do our very best to get scouring through that. But that's a lot. We're trying to cover the state top to bottom. Please hit us up on Twitter at Dane News Rewind, at Dusty Litster, or at Dane_Stewart. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, anytime you got a top 5 play, please send it to us. We get all the film we can and try to scour through all that stuff. Help us out. We don't want to miss it. We want to make sure we're highlighting these kids who are putting on a show here in the state of Utah. Well, once again, thank you for watching Deseret News Rewind, brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard on DeseretNews.com.